going to record it there. Okay. So we are recording now. So for those of you that are watching after, welcome. I've got Blake here. Blake is my coach. She is in North Carolina, and Shelby's also joining us right now. And we're here today. Thanks all for joining, because you're curious at some sort of level at hearing about this online health and fitness coaching that we do. And so we're here today just to share with you our stories, how we got started, how that's evolved throughout the years, what it's done for us, and also kind of a little bit about how we have fit it into our lives. Because Blake is a mom of 2 girls and a wife, a dog mom, as you can see also. So she's super busy. I'm a mom to a little 7-year-old boy, a wife and a dog mom also. And then I'm also going to be sharing a story. Lindsay Fortney is a coach friend of mine. She wasn't able to join us live tonight, but she is a mom also, and a working mom. And so she shares her story as well. But either way, whether you have kids or you don't have kids, we all have super crazy busy lives. And so we're going to be sharing our stories about how in the world we got started, and we also fit this in with our crazy busy lives, and how that has evolved throughout the years, because it definitely has changed many, many times over, and most recently too. So Blake is at soccer practice right now, which I think kind of gives you one little hint of how we fit it all in. I'm going to hand it on over to Blake to get started. And just to let you know, before I do that though, there will be time at the end. So if anybody has questions, so if anybody else joins, and Shelby, if you have any questions, we can go over those at the end. So Blake, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to you. And if you want to share a little bit about your story. And it looks like I have somebody else joining.
Okay, I'll wait till.
Yeah.
There's somebody.
Hi, is that Kathy? I always, it's like audio is still connecting. Chill out, Erin.
Oh, we can't hear you yet.
No, sometimes it takes a minute, I've noticed with Zoom.
Yeah.
Hi,
There.
is that Kathy?
Yes.
Hi, Kathy. It's so nice to meet you live and in person.
Yes. Nice.
I'm glad you're here. We were actually just going to get started with some stories. We have Blake here. Blake is my coach. She's in North Carolina, and she's going to get started. We're just sharing stories, how we got started with online health and fitness coaching, how it's evolved throughout the years, and how we fit it in with our busy lives. And I mentioned also I'll leave time at the end for some questions too. So Blake, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Okay. Hi. I think Erin sort of gave you the quick rundown of who I am, but I'll give you like the condensed version of my coaching history, which is basically I was, I don't know, a few, maybe 9 weeks, 10, I don't remember, postpartum with baby number 2. And I heard about this thing called like 21-day fix. What is it? My sister had done it, gotten great success, and I decided to give it a try. And long and short was I had incredible results from it. I mean, I was one of those people that used to think I was, you know, I would calorie count, and I couldn't understand why I would work out the way that I would work out and calorie count, and I would lose weight, but I would never tone up. And then I didn't realize that until I started doing 21-day fix, really ultimate portion fix, the nutrition part, and realized, oh, maybe I wasn't eating so healthy after all. So I had great results, and my sister-in-law, who was a coach, was like, you should coach. And I really, truly just started to do it because I wanted my Shakeology at a discount. Like my husband was like, I don't care if you want to keep getting it, but you have to figure out a way to pay for it each month. So I was like, okay, challenge accepted. And that meant, you know, just sort of dabbling into it. I work full-time as a writer and an editor. So, you know, I didn't really need a job. I just wanted to pay for my Shakeology. And it truly just sort of went from there. It became something that I was passionate about. I was like, hi, I really like this like nutrition and fitness stuff. And so I dove into it more, and here I am 5 years later, and it's like I know it sounds like super cheesy when people are like, oh my gosh, it's totally changed me and it's been so amazing. And I'm like, I'm not like all like, warm and fuzzy like that, but I will tell you honestly, it really has in so many different facets of my life, whether it's from in personal development, which I never did ever until I was a coach. So like little things like that. I becoming like your own, like a business owner and taking control and starting like a business and calling yourself an entrepreneur, which again, I think is like, that's insane to think that. Just all sorts of things. And really it just boils down to, I had a passion for health and fitness. I didn't really have an outlet to do anything with it until this came along. And I just sort of like I love learn. I'm a nerd when it comes to nutrition stuff. I love to learn about that. I love to learn about fitness. And so I just soak all that in, and this was the perfect fit for me. But like I said, I don't have that crazy math story where I was in debt and I needed to pay it off and I had no, like I don't have a dramatic story. My story is really, I wanted to get the products at a discount. I started to do that. I wanted to get them paid for. I started to do that. I started to do it as a hobby because it was really fun. And now it's become like a salary job, which is really crazy because I didn't go into this necessarily to make money. I just wanted to pay for my products. And so I'm sort of like all of those levels that you can be in a coach. You can, and you can move back and forth between them. Like maybe you're really just wanting the discount. Do it just for the discount. Maybe all of a sudden you're like, I just want to help a couple friends in my neighborhood. And, I started doing that. And then I started to do, more than that. So there's no one size fits all. It's whatever you want it to be. And that's sort of the beauty of it. Like I can work it from soccer practice right here because technology is so amazing. You do it in the little pockets of time and little cracks throughout the day when your kids are on a Zoom call for virtual learning, or you're on your lunch break or whatever. It's whatever you want it to be. That's sort of like the beauty of it. And it's pretty nice to get a paycheck and be like, wow, I just got paid for doing that. Like that's kind of crazy. Like, I can't believe you get paid to do that. So that's the sort of gist on me. I don't know if should I touch on anything else, Erin?
I guess, just what's kind of some of the biggest changes that it's done for you, or biggest thing that it's done for you over the years in your family?
I would say it's given me the flexibility to not feel so I'm a freelance writer editor, and it's given me that flexibility to not feel like I have to take every single assignment. I have this other source of income now, which I don't think anybody would be upset about having another source of income. I would say it's also influenced how my kid, just on like the personal side of things, how my kids approach food, how I talk to my kids about food, how we eat in our house. I would not be that into it if I weren't a coach. And then the friendship side of it, you meet people and you're like, oh, that's so cheesy. I'm never going to be friends with these like random people who live on the other side of the country, or around the world. And then all of a sudden they are, and you know about some of the craziest things going on in their lives, and it becomes this whole other group of people, mainly women most of the time, but a lot of men that have become really, really close friends. So there's that part of it too. There's just it's like I can't really like pinpoint like one thing that it's like changed, because it's been financial, emotional, physical, all of those things that are important, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of those too. They're kind of like some basic needs that we have in our life or that
Yeah.
we need, but can be hard to fulfill sometimes with other jobs that we end up falling into.
Yeah. And I think like recognition, I think that's a huge thing is, um, you know, eh, being in the magazine industry, I just feel like you're not often rewarded for your hard work. You don't get raises, you get pay cuts. They give you more work and pay you less. And when you're doing something like this, so you're your own boss, one, and two, they really do reward you for doing great things, and it's just nice to be recognized for those things, especially when you didn't have that before, and you're really in control of what you make it and how much money you're going to make. And again, it's not all about the money at all, but it is pretty nice to be like, all right, if I put my head down and do this, I can like do amazing things with it. It's been for over the last 5 years. It's been, I'm not going to go into like specifics, but it's just financially been an amazing thing for our family,
Yeah.
which I did not in a million years. Remember, I went into it paying for my Shakeology, and that was it. Like, give me the discount. I'm not doing anything else.
And like you said, now you can at times choose when you want to take writing jobs.
Oh yeah,
To have,
yeah, yeah. And it's the flexibility of it too, or to be like, hey, we're gonna, I'm gonna use my Beachbody money. I'm gonna pay for our family vacation. We're gonna, there's just, it's provided more experiences with my family that maybe we wouldn't have done before because we were like, well, that wasn't necessarily in the budget. Well, now it's in the budget. I can take my family on vacation. I can take them to Disney and not have to like worry about anything, and that's just from, working hard, put my head down and working hard. So that's pretty cool.
yeah, getting that extra. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Blake. I really appreciate you sharing that. Does anyone
Yeah.
have any questions for Blake before we let her get back to soccer life?
Mm-hmm.
So that is a piece of how we see Blake fits in doing coaching, is supporting people, whether it's building their business or getting healthy, in these little pockets of time while at soccer practice. That's one
Yeah.
example of it right here. So thank you so much, Blake. I really appreciate it. I mean, totally hang
Yeah.
up if you want, but you don't have to either.
All right.
Going to
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Blake. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
So ladies, I have another friend of mine, Lindsay Fortney. She is also a coach, and she wasn't able to join us live tonight, but she was really kind to make a little recording of her story. It's really quick, just 7 minutes long. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And her story is actually a little different from Blake's, so maybe something that you'll resonate with. And so I'm gonna share my screen if I can figure out how to do that, because I think they moved the share option. Where did they move it to? Here it is. I swear it used to be somewhere else, but it's probably just me. So let me share my screen and share my friend Lindsay with you. Can you see Lindsay on YouTube? Kathy, can you see her? All right, I got a thumbs up there. And you know what? Hopefully, Shelby, you'll hear her.
Courtney, and I'm so excited to share a little bit about my coaching story with you today. So thanks for tuning in. I have actually been a coach for 5 years. It's crazy because the time has flown by in some ways, and it's also fun to kind of think back to when I was starting. So when I made the decision to become a coach with Beachbody, I had a 5 and a 2-year-old. I was working full time as a realtor, and my husband is actually a shift worker. So he works 12-hour shifts, nights and days, off and on. So life was crazy. Like, it was very busy. And one of the hesitations I had when I decided to become a coach, or I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I don't feel like I have any extra time in my day. Like, how am I going to make this work? And maybe you feel that way too. But here's what happened for me. Because I had kind of made the adjustment to figure out how to fit fitness and healthier eating into my life, I was in a better place energy wise. I was feeling better than I had ever felt, even in my 20s. And I was learning how to actually shift my priorities. So for me, I used to spend the nights scrolling Pinterest and watching Netflix. So when I decided to become a coach, I was like, what if I took that like 1 to 2 hours at night when I was typically just sitting on the couch doing nothing? And I started to actually work on this business that I was passionate about. And I loved helping people, and I loved the accountability it gave me for my own health and wellness journey. And I loved the people that I met throughout it. So I started to kind of trade that time. So just like I had done, I learned how to do with my workouts, make them a priority. I started to make the business a priority too. And it grew, and it was amazing. There was lots of chaos, but I used to find ways to fit it into my busy schedule. So for example, when I was driving to open houses or showings, I would listen to a podcast on my Bluetooth on the way there. Or if I was sitting at an open house, which sometimes they were slow and nobody would come and you'd be there for a couple hours, I would work on writing some posts, or I would connect with some people, or I would check into my challenge groups. Like I said, I really just found those pockets of time. Sometimes I would work later at night, sometimes before the kids got up. That's just how I worked it at the beginning. Now, I ended up actually leaving real estate, my full-time real estate gig, because our son became chronically ill right when I started to coach. And I actually went through that journey. It kind of paralleled me going through coaching. And in so many ways, coaching was such a lifeline for me during that struggle. Doctor's appointments and specialists and on the road all the time, and really a lot of uncertainty. And I could have been in a really negative headspace, but instead I had the most incredible support network around me. Plus, I was pouring into myself. Being a coach, I was focused on personal development and listening to things that made me, want to grow and be better. I was exercising, I was eating better. So all of those things really helped me get through one of the toughest times I can remember in any recent history. So what happened though was that with all of that going on and life being the way it was, after a few years, I said to my husband, I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Like we were on a Disney vacation, and I remember getting a call from an agent, even though another broker was supposed to be taking care of my clients, and talking to the agent. We're in Magic Kingdom, and I'm like, all I want to do is be focusing on my family, and here I am on the phone with a broker or with an agent. And that was kind of the beginning of it, where I said to my husband on the drive home from Florida, I said, what if I left real estate and I just did coaching full time? And he was like, it's about time. So for us, that was the right move. It just gave me a lot more flexibility with our son and his medical appointments and those sorts of things, and being a caregiver. But it also continued to give me those connections with other women. It gave me a community to be a part of. It gave me a passion. It gave me an income, so that I could continue to contribute and, work towards the goals and things that I had for our family. So that was a shift that I made. I'll say when I started coaching, I had zero intention of actually leaving my full-time job. I liked my full-time job. It's just our life circumstances changed, and it was so nice to have that option there that I could like seamlessly go into. So that was kind of cool. But fast forward to now, pandemic, we are in the middle of this craziness. And I actually, because my son is immune compromised, we have our kids home for virtual learning. At the exact same time, my husband took a new position where he's working Monday to Friday, just mama all the time. And it was chaos, right? So the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, this reminds me of when I started coaching. And I was like, how am I going to fit all of these things in? But I had to pivot. So one of the biggest things that coaching and being a part of the Beachbody community has taught me was to be stubborn about my goals, but flexible about my methods. So I had to do the big pivot. I had to adjust my morning routine. I had to make sure that I'm filling my cup. I had to lean into those people that really lift me up. so that I wasn't going bonkers with all of this chaos and, being on call basically all day when I'm used to the kids being at school. So I've made that shift. I'm always learning with this business. It's so incredible that way. But if you're somebody who feels like you're like, I just can't add another thing, I can't have another ball in the air, I'm already juggling and they're falling all over and it's crazy. Let me tell you something. First of all, busy people, they know how to get stuff done. That's why they're busy. That's why they're, women who, especially women who are, wanting more, they're ambitious, they're energetic, they have these bigger goals. It's because you know how to get stuff done. So don't talk yourself out of coaching thinking that you're too busy, because you will figure out a way, and it's hard work. So not hard work, but it's hard work. You get to do the best work. And when you get those messages from your clients and they tell you, they feel like themselves again, or they are finally in the family pictures, or they went to the water park and they wore the bathing suit with their kids and they feel like $1,000,000, it is incredible. You can't match it. I've been in lots of occupations before, and this is just something unlike anything else. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit about my story. And if you have any questions, talk.
All right. So, excuse me, that is Lindsay's story. She has definitely a slightly different reason why, and her drive that got her to where she is now. And I love her reference to it's heart work, because that is kind of how I have ended up to where I am now, but it's not how I got started at all. I started with coaching like Blake. It was just under her, but close to 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in November. And I got started really sort of for my own personal accountability. I started with this fitness program in a challenge group and nutrition program, and I'd had some good results with it. And I'd never had results with anything I'd ever done in my life before. So I was feeling really good, and I wanted to continue on. And I wanted that discount that Blake was talking about. And I wanted that discount and to sign up for something as a form of accountability for myself. Like, to me, that was going to hold me accountable to sticking with this, to continuing on, because I knew I needed to for my own health. And I was feeling really good, and I wanted to feel even better. So really, honestly, I only signed up in the first place just for my own selfishness, I guess, and my own health, which I think is an okay thing too. But I had no intention of coaching at all. And I had no intention of leaving my job or anything like that. I was in software, in QA and business analysis, and had been for over 20 years, a long time. And, then very soon after I signed up, a lot of my friends and family locally were saying, oh my gosh, wait a minute, what are you doing? They were noticing changes in me physically and emotionally. And just like I would share anything, like my favorite restaurant or new makeup I found, I was like, well, I'm going to share this. And I realized, because I had signed up as a coach, that I would get paid just by simply sharing that with them. I was going to share it with them anyways. And I thought, well, this is kind of awesome. I want to share this with my friends and family. And I sure could use a little extra money for some fun things, like getting my hair done and buying clothes, because those are the things that I like. And I had a toddler at the time. My son's 7 now. And, I wanted that extra money so we could save up for vacations, because, I had a decent job, but we were still always just barely making it. We were living well, but still felt like we were paycheck to paycheck. So that little extra money, as I continued to help another friend and another friend, felt really helpful to me. So I saw it as a way of, I really enjoy helping my friends and family, and I'm needing this extra money so we can live the life that we want to live as a family. So really, honestly, for me, coaching started off as just helping my friends and family, just a few of them here and there, and getting that little extra income on the side. But then it started to really grow. You know, Blake talked about how coaching starts to open up, um, having you work on some personal growth. And for me, it really opened that up for me. I had never done any personal growth, reading any kind of personal development in my life. I avoided it my whole life. And I started doing that as I got into coaching and helping my friends and family. I started to read some personal development books, and it opened up a dream in me that I had squashed a long time ago. I had always done software basically my whole life. I had actually gone to school for travel and tourism, and then wound up in software through a hotel that I worked for. So it was in travel and or hospitality management software. And anyway, I felt decent at my job, but I did not love it. I didn't feel proud about what I did. And I always wanted to do something that um, helped people and made a difference in the world. And so it was probably about 10 years prior, maybe a little less than that. After a while, the years meld together. I had looked into going back to school to maybe be a PT or a teacher or a nurse. I wanted to make that change, but I just didn't feel like I had that energy or the money or the time to put towards making a major change. And so I squashed that dream altogether. But then as I started to help friends and family through coaching, I started to realize, oh my gosh, this dream is here. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to go back to school. I can just do this right here and now. I can help people and I can make a difference in the world. I can build this right here. And so that's when I started to really evolve my coaching into a dream of, I don't want to only help my friends and family. I want to grow this into an actual business. And I have a dream now of leaving my corporate job. And so I want to build this to where I can do that. And so it evolved over time into doing that. And then last year, that's what I did. I left my corporate job. And now through pandemic, it's been interesting because it was a process to do that for me. Everybody goes about doing that differently, and for me, I was like, "Oh, I'm done with corporate," and I left, and I picked up a couple part-time jobs as I was starting to make that transition, and I lost those with COVID. And so I am very grateful right now to have coaching, to give me the income, to give me the personal growth, to keep pushing forward through these times as well. So, for me, coaching has really evolved quite a bit throughout these 5 years. From having no desire to wanting to totally leave my corporate job, to really having a passion for helping people be healthy, live well in a way that fits into their real lives, and to help people begin their own businesses in a way that fits into their real lives. So whatever that might look like for you. So that's become my passion, and that's how coaching has evolved for me. And it's really helped me be accountable to both my health and my own personal growth. And without coaching, I would not have been accountable to either of those things. And what has been important to me about coaching, and about the health that we offer, and the fitness that we offer, and the nutrition that we offer, is how it does fit into what I call real life. So meaning real life happens. Right now it's showing up in the form of a pandemic, but it happens in so many different forms in everybody's life. So whether it be through family, whether it be through work, whether it be just any kind of busy schedule, we want for our health to be able to naturally fit in and not overtake our real lives. And same with this business. I love that they both can do that. And so it can fit into the little pockets of the day. The workouts, they can fit into the little pockets of the day, 30 minutes here. The nutrition fits into eating with everybody else. You're not cutting anything out and eating anything weird. So this is just teaching you how to eat in a healthy lifestyle manner. And then coaching, learning to build a business to help other people in your little pockets of time. So yeah, that's a little bit of my story. What questions do you guys have? If any at all.
I can't get off mute. There we go.
There, Shelby.
So like starting your own business, basically. I have a very, very different, like, coaching, probably not for me, but starting like my own small business or something like that. That is something that I would be interested in. But would that kind of fall under your repertoire of figuring out how to help somebody start their own business? Not necessarily coaching, like I said, but like just a small business in general.
Yeah, that's not quite my repertoire, unfortunately, Shelby. No, I really help people more with joining into that I'm doing.
Okay.
I have some great people I could possibly point you in towards. So I can touch base with you afterwards about that.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Kathy, do you have any questions?
I actually have quite a few, I guess. You have to excuse my background. I live in a tiny house. Okay, so I had to sneak off to my bathroom. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. But anyway, I do have quite a few questions, and they're just, I think, quite a few. So what I'll do is just touch base with you later, but I am very interested. Okay, I've always wanted to do coaching. I just didn't know how go about it with health and fitness, because I am a nurse.
Yeah.
And with my age now, which I will be 60 in April,
Uh-huh.
that I want to get away from all that stressful atmosphere. And I do love my job, but it's hard on the body.
Yeah.
I wanted to take that helping others and then my passion for health and fitness and find what else can I do for that, to help others.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take up all the time here and ask you all the questions. I'll just write them down and get with you.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm very interested
Okay.
in hearing more.
Yeah, well, I am happy we can set up a time. What I can do if you want is I will send a link for you right after this call, and
Okay.
a private chat one-on-one, and we can go over all your questions.
That'd be awesome. I'm going to be off for a couple more weeks because I injured my wrist. I think you do. So I will be home for a couple more weeks before I return to work. So this is a good opportunity again to, hey, I won't lose any income if I can build another income. That's just great. It's awesome. I'm glad I found you.
Yeah, me too. Awesome. Great. Well, I will be sure to send you a link right afterwards. And for those of you who are still watching the recording, because you just made me think of this, Kathy, I am taking on 5 people this month that I will personally mentor. I like to keep it just to small numbers just so that we can easily work one-on-one. I do offer training to really help you get started so you're not just sent out there going, wait a minute, I don't know how in the world to get started with this. I offer a great little training program so you are set up for success, and we find a way to make sure that it does fit into your life and you have a great little starting point. So I'm taking on 5 people this month. So if you're watching the recording, there will be a link in the email with this recording for you to sign up for a call with me to say, hey, yeah, I'm interested. So go ahead and click that link. And for Kathy, yeah, I'll be sending that your way too. Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Shelby. And we'll talk, okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
All righty.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.